Hey, I'm Francesco.
Hello, my name is Brandon.
So I'm B.
My name is R.
My name's Nick.
Hi, my name is James. Oh, Camp Augusta.
My name's James.
Hi, my name's Lee.
Hello, I'm Karina.
Hello, Camp Augusta. My name is Magda. And I wanted to go on an adventure instead of going back to freezing cold Canada. So I started looking up summer camps in California, and then I came across the Camp Augusta website, and I felt really inspired and had this moment where I was like, I have to work at Camp Augusta. I have to be there. Everything looks amazing. I feel as if I could learn so much about myself and others, and so I started the application process.
And when I got to the Camp Augusta website, I got goosebumps on my arms because I was just like blown away by the intentionality and the philosophy of camp. And so I didn't look anywhere else from then. I just put all my energy into the application process.
It was like something clicked and things finally made sense. I was really impressed with just how, this premise of clean communication, the language that was put forward in the questioning for the application and in other parts of the application, as well as on the website, gave me this complete picture of just like, there's no beating around the bush here. You have an opportunity here to actually say what you mean, and for people to not take it personally right off the bat. They hear you out.
The interview process was ridiculously long.
Camp Augusta wanted essays from you, big epic essays that delved into your soul.
All these really inspiring questions that were about me in comparison to tell me what you've done and tell me about your job experience and hand over a resume.
I took this partly as an application for camp, but partly as an exercise for myself as well. So these questions allow you to focus on really important questions like, who are you? And something I hadn't really thought about before. And it was quite therapeutic to put all that down in words. And by about halfway through my 3,000 or 4,000 word response to those questions, I considered even if I didn't get the job at Camp Augusta, this has been a worthwhile exercise.
I started the application process and I was like, whoa, who am I? Like, what is this even about? What is this life about?
It's actually the longest interview process I've ever been through.
I also had a friend that got the questions and she pulled out because they were too long and she couldn't be bothered. And I think that works for like nutting out majority of the people who apply. If they can't be bothered doing the interview process and doing these questions, how bothered can they be waking up and really giving some wish, wonder, surprise to these kids?
The length in the interview process, not everybody's one to go through it. You have to have dedication and a real drive to work with children in this kind of setting.
And then that 5 hours that it took or so to apply, I got a response within a day saying, okay, great, we got your first one, here's another round of questions to answer. I was like, oh God, I just wrote 6 pages, I gotta write another 6 pages.
There are very few of them very vague questions, which was frustrating. But I realise why they were vague now. It helps to get the type of personality, to see if we have the type of personality that Camp Augusta is looking for.
And the second round was even worse than the first. Like I was like bawling by that point. I was thinking about like, what is the meaning of life? What is my purpose in life? What is my philosophy on like discipline and interactions with children? What do I want from the summer?
I said to him that I don't think I had the time to do it. And he's like, well, if you've not got the time, you can't apply. Looking back at what Camp Augusta could offer me, and I was determined not to let this opportunity slip through my fingers. The work was hard, took lots of time, but when you arrive here, you realise it's all worth it.
My impression was that, yes, they're asking a lot from me, but if I was prepared to put in a lot in return, then they'd kind of give me that care and attention and take me seriously as someone who could contribute to camp.
because it was encouraging to see how much of an interest they took in me and how much this camp clearly meant to them. They would spend all this time and dedication trying to find people who would fit well into camp life and become really powerful and strong members of the community.
They are interested in who their counselors are, not what they have done in their life, if they had the best college degree or the best grade in this subject.
What gave me the sort of willpower to really sit down and write these things is it was almost like a gift that I suddenly had to find the time to think about what do I care about and what do I believe in and who am I.
Intense interviews and exploring all aspects of your previous life, what you've done up to this point, your visions for camp, and how looking at how you best fit into the camp lifestyle.
And at the end of the conversation, he's like, I really want to welcome you to the family. And I was like, what? Like, yeah, what? What? Like, I was so excited. I was like, does that mean like I could come? Or he's like, yeah, we want you. And I was like, oh, yes. It was a beautiful process because it made me not only put my heart in the right place as to why I wanted to come to camp, but it also helped me balance myself to come to camp and understand more so who I am.
I think that the interview process is necessary for this camp because without it, I feel we wouldn't have the staff members that we do, and I think that would severely take away from what we're trying to offer here for the children.
Yeah, so once you've been told that you have the job as counsellor here, you accept the staff manual, sent dozens of videos to watch, all with the intention of orientating you to the camp way of life and what we're about here at Augusta. You read about Embers, wake-ups and cabin activities in the staff manual, and you chat about the interview process. It's still difficult to envisage what these look like in your head. So writing wake-ups and embers and cabin activities and creating ideas can be quite challenging at times, but it really got your creative juices flowing and thinking of what the possibilities could be when you come out here and creating really crazy and inspiring activities for your campers. It was a lot of fun. And coming to camp and then seeing those ideas you had written down become realities was very satisfying as well. So it was definitely a very time-consuming process, but incredibly enlightening, and every page of the staff manual is like a revelation.
Unfortunately for me, I was stupid enough not to do the work before I came to America, and that was very unfortunate for me that when I got here I was still doing the work and I was unable to be a part of the community and really get into knowing each other and knowing everybody. And yeah, very unfortunate for me, and if doing it over or passing it to someone else, do the work before you come. There's a lot of work to be done. It is all worth it, but you need to do the work before you come.
I learned so much during that period, much more than I'd ever learned about working with children and how to experience this type of work that I had in my previous job, which really surprised me. I thought my previous job had been in it for a long time, and I thought that was pretty much all I needed to know about working with kids, and I found out quickly I was very wrong about that. So Camp Augusta really gave me that opportunity to grow in that area of my life, to realise that there's always going to be more to learn, more to experience, and more to enjoy.
So it was very challenging when I first got here in ways like in an environment where I didn't know anybody, I'd never been here before, yet at the same time I was welcomed with open arms. So immediately it's a sort of strange feeling of I'm with a family but I don't know them yet.
I had about 10, 15 people all running over to me and hugging me. And with the jet lag and the confusion as to what was happening, I had a big, huge smile across my face, and I knew that I was in the right place.
The second I stepped onto camp, I knew that there was something special about it. The welcoming that I got was warm and comforting. Everyone was so kind, and there was a smile on everybody's face. They brought me in as if they'd known me for years, and it was nice to join a place where that's the first interaction I have with people, is one of comfort and kindness.
I found it overwhelming when I first got here. There was so much to do. It was such a much larger area than I ever imagined. And just the capacity of what was offered to participants here was just so much more than what I ever thought would be possible. Over the next 24 hours, I'd managed to play capture the flag, meet so many wonderful new people, spend some times with some of the children here as there was a camp running the day I arrived, and just experience what Camp Augusta was about. And within that 24-hour period, I was energised again and was ready to do this job for the next 4 months. Mostly for me, being so far away from home was a bit of a struggle to begin with, and not really knowing anyone that well. It was also part of the fun of coming here, but it was difficult.
The schedule, that was the only thing that was kind of holding me back.
It's hard work. I really enjoy that about camp, but it's also draining on me physically.
Reading through the expectations of you as a Camp Augusta staff member, you wonder if you're cut out for the job.
But it's nice to be able to get up each morning and know you've got a long day in front of you, get up there to enjoy being around kids, enjoy creating magic for them, and just getting right into the spirit of the summer camp here. So, but I won't lie, the longer days can be arduous at times.
I was beyond nervous session 1 with my first group of 5 boys. It was an amazing experience. That first group of campers I will never forget. They were almost like tying the bow at the end of my staff training. They taught me how to be a Camp Augusta counselor.
Cabanax. Oh, Cabanax. One of the most brilliant things to do, and the hardest to sort. I found myself having to push the kids to get the answers, and seeing that I'm draining the life out of them. And instead of going and playing and really enjoying our time at camp, we were all stuck trying to let's get this Cabanax, let's make it a little bit better, what else can we add? I could have stopped and played some games with them and run around, and then continued back into it once I got some energy back. I didn't see that. My first time here, fell forward moments. Embers I don't think are one of my strong suits. I think they were rather difficult to get across. I'm trying to get them into the mind frame and that space that they can be able to share something deeper than the superficial layers was quite difficult for me. But asking for support was the best thing that I could go about.
I've gotten the opportunity to be president, to wake up people in a gorilla suit, to sparkle glitters, bomb everybody, water fights in the lake, and so many different things. I think one of my best memories would be sitting in the hammocks with costumes on, singing with my campers and just getting to know them. And that's one of the things that I appreciate most about camp, is the fact that you get to connect on such deep levels with the campers, and that you're able to have this experience together, and that with the campers you both grow.
I would say my favorite experiences have been getting to know my campers and having that moment especially during evening embers, where I am blown away and am so inspired by what my campers have to offer and them sharing their experiences, and having that moment where I have a tear in my eye because I feel so inspired by them and I feel so overwhelmed with joy.
Campers are spectacular. They're so raw and real, and just seeing their faces light up through their experiences here is amazing.
Something about the combination of nature with people here at camp. That is so spectacular when you see someone zip lining across the trees, or you see someone with a cape on pretending to be a superhero. Yeah, it's beautiful. One of my favorite things to do here at camp is puppet making. I absolutely adore it. We make them out of socks, and we put like googly eyes and glitter and like all kinds of stuff on it. And you would think an activity like that could be kind of boring for kids, but every single time that I've taught it, I think I've been probably the happiest that I've ever been in my life, I dare to say. It's just such a joyous experience, and then using the puppets to go like create Wishwater Surprise throughout camp has been really beautiful too.
It's just amazing to be able to be connected to so many people and to see everyone every day. It's like having another family.
There's never a dull moment here for the staff, at least I find that, and especially for the kids. They're always, there's always something to do, it's always new, it's exciting. If they've been here for previous years, it's either improved or changed a little bit, or they just loved it so much they want to do it again and over again, which is amazing to see. If you can see one kid doing, say, the tiny swing 3 or 4 times in a session, you know you've done something right, that they're so excited to do the same thing so often.
Going to that costume shack, picking up random costumes, collaborating with colleagues, and just making something really interesting even better. Just like a normal wake up turning into this magical moment where you see the kids wake up and they're with an absolute smile on their face having the best time of their life. And it's something that really warms the heart, and it's a major reason why I came, to bring joy into children's lives.
Cabin activities that were amazing, even some of the ones that weren't so amazing. They were still fun. They may not have worked out the way that the kids or myself had planned, but we still made them fun. And that's what I like about cabin activities. Regardless of how they turn out, you can still make the fun out of it.
They get to challenge themselves to places that they didn't think was possible or probable. Everyone is a little bit nervous when you're going up. I was nervous the first time I was going up the tree, and for them to like have that sense of accomplishment afterwards is so beautiful, and I could never get sick of it.
It's not only a place where kids have fun and challenge themselves physically on all the different elements, it's also a place where every day they are offered love and laughter and opportunities to challenge themselves beyond climbing up the Giant's Junkyard.
You know, the activities we've got here, climbing the wall, the zip lines, they can be at any other camp. But the community we create with the staff members and the campers is absolutely unique. And for even things like evening programs, we can create an entirely different world here at Camp Augusta. And that's down purely to the imagination and creativity of the staff here and the energy and enthusiasm of the kids that come with us. And together we can create really special moments for everyone involved.
So it may not seem like this like batik class or this felting class is a big deal in their life, but it may just plant a tiny little seed for them to be able to do something else further down their life. You know, maybe a clinic that they have here gives them permission to be creative, or a ukulele clinic makes them realize that, hey, maybe I can play music too. I can actually be a part of music. And all these tiny little things that we're doing all day long are planting seeds, and you never know where that's going to sprout.
We have all these amazing philosophies on how we communicate with children and communicate with others, and we don't treat them as if they're children that don't know anything. We offer them empathy, we offer them opportunities to speak and be heard.
Also things like embers, evening embers, where we can have discussions with the campers that they often wouldn't have the opportunity to have outside of camp. We can discuss what's going on with them at school and family life, and we can explore ideas such as friendship and community and inspiration, and allow them to really express themselves in a very safe environment.
So I've had many campers, for example, be afraid of communicating with people in certain ways, opening up and things like that. And I too share that fear, and it's been a beautiful thing to grow with them.
They get to be wild and crazy and creative.
Here's a space where they can be children without pressure from other people or the outside society.
As a Manzanita counselor, I work with the younger girls, and that has been such a playful and joyous experience. Just putting on costumes and just being a kid with them.
I love to see the kids looking at us like we're crazy. That wears off after a couple days. They realize, oh, they have a opportunity, or they have permission to be crazy, and they they're dressing up like unicorns and and giraffes and stuff, as just like we are. The kids have permission to be crazy here. They have permission to be themselves outside of camp as well.
We'd have wacky days. For instance, today we're sitting on the floor and using chopsticks to eat dinner, breakfast and lunch, even if you have soup or cereal. And just taking it to the next level with the kids and wondering where else can we go with this instead of just eating normally. But cabinets themselves, once they were made, when that process was over, they were brilliant. We've had some really exciting and phenomenal things that are unique and only will happen at Camp Augusta. I'll never have the chance again to do what I've just done with these cabinets, and they'll probably never be done again. It's one of those one-in-a-lifetime sort of things, and I'm happy that I got the moments to share with them, with the kids.
I really feel that Camp Augusta takes an extra step in making the experience for the kids so wonderful and so over the top that that's the reason why they keep coming back year after year. And I also think that's the reason why we have such a long waiting list for people who want to come. And that's why at the end of each session we have so many people upset and crying because they're not ready to leave. And that's saying something. If they've been here for 2 weeks without their families, some of them are very young and they still don't want to leave, that's proof of how right we do it here as a community.
Well, I think we're all here for the kids. We're motivated through them. Everything we're doing has a purpose, and we get to see it. Maybe not in the long term, because we might not ever see some of these kids again, but you can feel it. You feel like, wow, I got to facilitate this Embers, and you get to feel what they take out of it, and it's going to be beneficial for them in the long term.
Thinking about what I gained from camp is my performance ability. The costume closet is more than well stocked, and there is never an opportunity to not crack jokes in front of over 100 people, which is a real treat for me to make that many faces smile in one go.
It's very easy to put a lot of limiting factors on yourself. The key complaint is I don't have the time. Somehow, even though I don't seem to have time at camp, I always make time for it. And if I've been asked to do this, say, last year, I'm not sure if I'd have thought this was possible. So really, camp has, I felt, made me a lot more powerful.
And I really like that about camp. It's challenged me a lot more than any other job I've had. And I really appreciate that. It's helped me grow a lot and realise that I can push myself a lot further than I previously thought.
Also, the community has been incredibly supportive, so whilst I have had these huge expectations on me, I also know that I have about 60 other people I can rely on if I need the help, if I need the support.
The people here are amazing. Their sense of community and family and support and love is unlike anywhere else I've ever been.
Each year when you come back, it feels like returning home. Whenever you come up the driveway into the trees and campfire circle, within 20 minutes, it feels like you've never left. you build a very strong connection to the physical site here and the other staff around you.
It's also fun to see with all the costumes that we do, all the wake-ups, all the silly games we play, just the general interactions with the kids is always just so much full of energy and craziness and magic, and the kids really get into it and love it, and so do the staff, which is why I imagine they were chosen to work here, because that's the type of personality they have that's going to help create and foster this this world that we've created here. I think camp's been an amazing experience for me. I know it's been great for the kids, and I'd like to think it's been fantastic for my other staff, the other staff members here as well.
As I think about myself leaving this place, I realize exactly how much I've grown and how much I have evolved, and how much I feel connection with the community around here, and how much I will miss that constant connection, and how I'll try to find a way to incorporate those things in my everyday life.
I've also gained from camp a ton of philosophy, and really spelled out, camp has really spelled out these ideas that are sort of abstract and floating around, and you're not quite sure how to string them all together, and you'll receive this wonderful staff manual that links it all together. Frankly, I treat that manual like a sort of manual on life more so than just a manual on camp life.
This is my final week at camp this year, and I'm very much looking forward to taking this philosophy of really doing your utmost, really using the time that you have to go out and do great and wonderful things, and to create great and wonderful things.
Home and use these skills that I've learned and to continue to grow as a person, but I'm also sad to leave this place because there's no place else in the world like this, and I'm extremely grateful to have had this opportunity, and no matter where life takes me from here, I'll always have this as a memory, and every memory I have of it is one that's positive, and I know it could be helpful for me to say things that I didn't enjoy about camp, but there really isn't anything I didn't enjoy about camp. Even times where I've felt stressed or have been struggling, I see it as times of growth where it helps me grow as a person, and it's necessary. So I'm actually thankful for those experiences. I wouldn't have wanted it to go perfectly and to be smooth, because then that wouldn't give me anything to look forward to coming into the next summer if I had that option.
And before I know it, 9 weeks is almost passed. We've got 3 days left of the summer, and it only feels like about 3 days ago that we were waiting for the bus to arrive on the first Sunday. Which for me tells me that I've just had a lot of fun. The whole 9 weeks has gone so quickly that it's been a blur, but I can still remember all those moments from the 9 weeks that are really important to me.
I would hope to come back for as long as I can, because I've never felt the way that I feel anywhere else in the world than when I'm at camp. And I'll never forget this place for as long as I live.
I honestly think Camp Augusta is a one-of-a-kind place.
Thanks, Camp Augusta. I really enjoyed it. See you later.